Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/Entitled People. Entitled lady tries to make me break the law, then harasses me. First time posting here, but after seeing so many accounts, I just couldn't help but share one of my experiences. For context, this was about 2 years ago when I was working as a letter carrier for Canada Post. My job was to cover for the permanent employees in my area when they got sick, went on vacation, or just didn't show up to work. That meant getting bounced between several different offices and having to learn a whole new route nearly every day, but at the time I didn't mind because I got to work outdoors and people were usually happy to see me. Usually. On this particular day, I was lucky and was covering for an older colleague on vacation, meaning I got one of the best routes every day for a whole week. It was in a quiet neighborhood with a simple footpath, so I had no trouble with it, and was even going to finish early for once. Then I arrive at this apartment complex, and I see I have a registered letter to deliver there. For those of you who don't know, registered letters are basically letter mail that requires a signature from the occupant upon delivery. This can be for a lot of reasons. They might contain legal documents or passports, or the sender or recipient may have asked for it to be registered for their own reasons. Regardless, this means I can't just drop this in someone's mailbox. The apartment complex had a list of tenants and a machine to call them from the entryway, so I look up the recipient's name and call them. Cast of characters. Me, yours truly, EL, entitled lady, DM doorman, SV, my supervisor. The conversation went something like this.
Hello?
Hello, this is Canada Post. I have a registered letter here for you that requires a signature.
I'm not home right now. Just put it in my mail slot.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. It requires a signature. The doorman stands up from his desk about 15 feet away. I can hold on to it for her. I turn to him. Again, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. It requires a signature from the recipient or someone living at her address.
Just give it to him. The usual guy does it all the time.
Yeah, I'll take care of it for her. I'm sorry, but I doubt my colleague would do that, and even if he did, I'm not going to break the law. I'll leave a card for you to pick it up at a later date.
Just put it in my mailbox then. It's just a letter.
I apologized again, told her to have a great day, and I hung up. I proceeded into the building and delivered the rest of the mail, leaving her a card for pickup and taking the letter with me. The doorman gave me a withering, knife-eyed stare the whole time I left. Since I had that route all week, I was back the next day delivering mail and making good time. I proceed into the building, the doorman giving me another cold stare as I went, and entered the mailroom. So, some large apartment buildings have these long, narrow rooms which postal workers can enter to place the inhabitants' letter mail into slots so they can open with their mail keys. This was one of those. I had just finished sorting everything and was about to leave when I see the door open. Most of these rooms won't fully close unless locked from the outside for security purposes. It's a middle-aged woman I've never seen before, but as soon as she speaks, I recognize her.
Did you deliver the mail here yesterday?
I keep a straight face. Yes, I did.
What the F is your problem?
Is this concerning the registered letter I attempted to deliver yesterday?
Of course it is, you piece of crap. Do you know how important I am? Do you know how far I had to go in order to pick up that stupid letter? Why don't you leave it with a doorman or in my box like I asked? You're a public servant, so you have to do what I tell you.
I'm sorry, but I have to follow procedure or I could lose my job.
Well, now you're going to. I'm going to speak to your manager.
I reached into my coat, took out my notepad, wrote my supervisor's number on it, and handed it to her. If you would like to register a complaint, this is my supervisor's number. Have a great day. Unfortunately, the entitled lady was blocking the door and refused to move, instead cussing me out for several minutes. I continued to look at her with a neutral expression, knowing that pushing past her would only make the situation worse. Eventually, she stormed off and I continued on my route, the doorman clearly having heard everything and looking pleased with himself. I finished my route and got back to the head office, and after unloading my parcels and undeliverable mail, I stopped by my supervisor's office. Hi, did you happen to get a call about me from a customer today? Yes. How did you know? Well, this lady was harassing me regarding a delivery I attempted yesterday. She blocked me inside the mailroom for several minutes and shouted at me, even after I explained the situation. My supervisor nods. She called the office. I listened to her explain the situation and then asked her if the delivery required a signature. When she said yes, I told her to F off and stop asking our employees to break the law. Good work out there today. The next week I was on a different route and my colleague was back from vacation, so I told him the story. It turns out he'd had problems with that woman in the past. She frequently received registered letters as part of her work as some kind of mid-level legal aid, and she'd harassed him as well. I got him to talk to her supervisor, and last I heard, they were considering bringing charges against her. I did that route several more times while working for Canada Post, but I never heard from her again. Anyway, thanks for reading. That is like a quality level supervisor. It's always really nice when someone has your back, like someone who's an authority, and they're just like, were they doing their job? Great. Goodbye. Fantastic. I don't know that I could keep my composure though, because it's like it kind of seemed like she was trying to ambush the mail carrier. That's not okay. That's just not okay.
If you want to hear someone's life story instead of actually receiving assistance, this is the place for you. Otherwise, I would recommend anywhere else. The service is horrible. They think you owe it to them to spend your money there. Dear Blank, I am sorry you were disappointed with your visit to our store. I am the person who asked you if you needed assistance in the lawn and garden aisle. I am the person who carried a bag of fertilizer to the register for you. Even though I had already told you that I would help you out, you ordered another worker to carry out part of your purchase. The other worker, not wanting you to think he was unwilling to help you, felt he should explain to you that he had a weight limit for lifting due to a chemo port in his chest. That's when you told him that you didn't care about his blank cancer. Seeing your young children exposed to your ensuing profanity-laced verbal tirade was shocking to all who witnessed it. I'm sorry if you were having a bad day, but your disregard for other people, as well as for your own children, was truly appalling. Class. You know, there are some people who can use their words in such a way. And this is one of those people. That is fantastic. Definitely a way to come back at this, because clearly that's most of the negative reviews I've seen are usually someone who's mad, and it's usually their own fault. But they're like, I'm just gonna get back and say stuff about them online. And it's just like, really? Like, you want the world to know the true story? Because we're about to tell it. I mean, it's up to you. Worst treatment I ever had in my life. I went with my wife and my little baby for a cup of tea, and they told us we needed to go because holding a table for a cup of tea wasn't worthy for them as a business. I still don't understand what that was about. We always try to support small business, but in this occasion, they pushed us to Costa. Welcome to the wild new world, people. Let's make sure this don't happen again. It is a very unfair review, as you are not telling the real story, but this is a small independent establishment, and you took our only large table, sat down with 3 large suitcases, and ordered 1 cup of tea between 3 people at lunchtime, and then stormed out without paying. It is too easy to leave untrue biased reviews. Yikes. So, what's interesting about this, though, like, okay, obviously not cool of them, obviously. But it is interesting that the person who did write this is considered a local guide with 32 reviews. I wonder if they're that petty to everyone, or if, like, the pettiness just struck them. I don't know. Entitled person uses my pan, and I can no longer use it. So in my religion, it's considered wrong to eat meat or meat products. I don't like people using my personal cooking items, pans, pots, spatula, etc. without asking. Even if I let you do it all the time, ask first. It's both considerate and I know what's going to be on my pan.
My roommate used my favorite, most expensive pan that was a gift from my now dead grandmother to make some sort of meat. I was angry because she hadn't asked me to use anything from the kitchen, and I told her not to use that pan at all. I went into the kitchen yesterday, the day after she used it, and it was sitting in the sink. She let it sit in the sink for so long there was grease and fat on it. She had also used my butter without asking, which I only use one, very expensive for a college student brand, because I have high cholesterol, and this both help bring it down and is made out of oil. Everything that's mine in the fridge has my name on it, and my pots and pans are kept in a separate drawer, far away from hers. Today, I notice the dishwasher is full and go to empty it, only the first thing I notice is that my pan is in the dishwasher. I told her specifically when I was washing it after I used it that it cannot go in the dishwasher. Now the pan is ruined and I can't use it. I'm utterly devastated. She doesn't care and said, "It's just a stupid pan. I'll buy you another one. Suck it up and move on with your life." Update, just talked to a dorm mate in the other bedroom and she said that my roommate has used her pans all the time without asking. The amount of disrespect you have to have when someone explicitly tells you this particular thing is just off limits, like don't touch it, to purposefully go over there and be like, "Oh well, I could just use this pan," and then ruin it, and then just be like, "Oh well, I'll just replace it. It's fine." Like, that makes me upset too, because like you can't replace things that were gifts from people who aren't here anymore. Like, that's frustrating.
I know the owner of a council-owned swimming pool, so I get the discounted rate. Okay, bit of a long one here, but here goes. I'm a lifeguard for a pool that is owned by a local council. It's a small pool, and the lifeguards do reception duty as well. The gym handles memberships. Anyhow, we rarely get any entitled people coming in, just the regulars, until this guy graced us with his presence. Man in his late 40s, early 50s, comes in wearing branded clothing and sunglasses. He was probably wearing about $2,000 worth of clothes and gear. Conversation goes like this. "Afternoon, what can I get for you today?" "Yeah, hi kid. I'll take everything you have on offer, and I know the owner of the place, and he's told me that I get the discounted rate, the 50% off everything rate." Originally, hearing this, I was a bit confused. As said, we are owned by the council, not a specific person, so I asked him to repeat it. Mind you, on the front of our uniform is the city council logo, with the city council motto underneath it. And yes, a part of it does say City Council. The guy then took off his sunglasses and stated, "Look, kid, I know you're blind because you wear glasses, but I didn't realize that you are deaf as well. But to be kind to you, I'll repeat myself. I know the owner of the pool. I get 50% off everything." To which I responded, "Sir, in order to get the discount, you need to have the..." He interrupted me, saying, "Don't give a crap about some special card I'm calling the owner. Your boss." And he pulled out his phone and pretended to make a call. I saw his phone was on the home screen when he was making his call, which went like this. "Yeah, hey mate, I'm at the pool now. Yeah, real nice place you got here. Anyway, the lifeguard behind reception isn't giving me the discounted rate. Yeah, I know, I told him. Hang on, what's your name, kid?" I told him my full name. "Yeah, it's Anon Anonymous at reception. Yeah, the guy with the girl's name. Yeah, sure, I'll pass it on to him." He then proceeded to hang up his phone. Again, it was on the home screen. Before he said, "Your boss has asked me to tell you that he will be in later today to teach you the first rule of your job. That being that the customer is always right, before teaching you to show respect to people because clearly your parents never bothered to teach it to you. So, for the third time..." He then proceeded to come so close up to my face that I could smell his breath. "I want full entry to the pool, and I get 50% off because I know the owner of the pool." It was then at this moment that I decided to tell him, "Sir, this pool doesn't have an owner. It is owned by the city council and their ratepayers, which I am one of. If you want the 50% discount, then get the card from the council stating that you're entitled to it. Until then, you are required to pay the full price." Granted, this man was not happy at all about being told that. However, he paid full entry while complaining the whole time and demanding to know when the place became a council-owned facility, because it wasn't when he last visited. It's been a council-owned facility since it was first built. At the end, he told me, "Word of hint for you, kid. People don't like smart butt millennials." My response, "Word of hint for you, sir. People don't like liars. Enjoy your visit."
Enjoy your visit.
I wonder if this dude actually gets away with the dumb scheme that he tried to pull there. And how can you be like, oh my god, just, Mad lad business owner turned us away while holding a table for someone coming later on. Poorly run and a major disappointment. Response from the owner. It's a Wikipedia link to table reservation. Oh, that's fantastic. Anyway, that is going to wrap up our video for today. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Real quick, I would like to thank my patrons up on the screen. You should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you're interested in becoming a patron, checking out the original posts we talked about in this video, or possibly sending me an email for possible inclusion in a future video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check it out. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!